and welcome to episode number 2 of the Inside Game podcast. Shout out to Raymond Waters and the team at the Old Coach Inn Castleblaney for the continued support of the page. This week, a charity I'd like to mention is Armagh's Secret Santa Appeal, who aim to provide help at Christmas to families feeling the financial burden at this time of year. So if you feel you can help, look up Armagh's Secret Santa Appeal on Facebook, and I'm sure the guys would love to hear from you. Now, on to the podcast, and make sure to listen right to the end for updates and guests who will be appearing in upcoming episodes. There's some big names joining me as promised, so make sure to look out for that. And now to this episode's guest. He's a stalwart for his club for the last 2 decades. He's had a very successful season, both personally and with the club, and that includes a Man of the Match award in the Armagh Intermediate Final. And so here it is. It's a discussion with the well-renowned Eamon McGeown. Eamon, good to have you on the podcast, sir. Thanks for joining.
No problem, Gary. No problem.
Good stuff. You're the first person to appear on the show whose surname isn't Craney, so a bit of history in the making there for you.
Yeah, well, big shoes to fill after last week, Gary. So see how we get on.
Very good. So, look, how's things? You enjoying a bit of downtime after the long season?
Yeah, at the minute anyway, for a couple of weeks here, and then we'll be back at it, I'm sure, John and Monty's. I think we're calling the meeting next week, so...
as quick as that?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Eamon, there's plenty of people in Armagh, and probably further afield, who know who Eamon McGeown, the footballer, is, but it's probably not a lot will know who Eamon the person is. So, why don't you tell us about who you are and your family and things like that?
Well, 36 now. Played 20 years now for the seniors. Again, that's football. I work over in McMullen Facades, same as yourself, Gary. A few local celebrities working there too. Conor McGeown, etc. 3 brothers, all buried in Sarsfields tradition. My mum, she's from Muckery. Large family of Raffertys over there, all the Cusicks and Forkers. We related into them. Then you go into Tyrone, I've a lot of cousins in there as well, Killeen, Clonoo area. So vast connections to the GA in the family, so based on that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
very good. Again too, so.
Well, again, you've been 20 years as a senior footballer, more or less. Do you remember your first ever match, or who was against, or what age you were? Or?
Well, 16. Brian McAlinton was the manager. I trained the year before, but again, I was too young at that stage to be put in. So Brian McAlinton came in. Him and John Burns was my first proper season. I think the first match was Cleva, up in Cleva.
In the league?
In the league, aye. Now, obviously, that's first proper match, like it was challenge matches and all too, but first official game, I would say, was Cleva. I think we'll be a point or something, I'm not too sure as well, but yeah, a long time ago that.
Very good. And look, you were part of the Armagh County squad as well at a time. Maybe tell us a bit about that.
Well, it was asked years ago before to go in, but probably was too proud for Sarsfields and thought I wasn't selfish enough, I think, at the time. Said, no, Sarsfields would suffer a lot if you didn't play. Because I love where I'm from, so, Sarsfields is number one for me,
Yeah.
But then had a meeting with Kieran and said I would give it a go. Played in the Mechanic Cup at the time, and then I got a bad injury. Missed 12 weeks or maybe more, 14 weeks, I think. Broke my hand and fell at training and broke my hand.
In county training?
In county training, aye. I had to get a plate and 4 screws into my hand. Then I did a lot of running and training with Julie Davis on my own, just so you weren't really you were there, but you didn't really feel part of it, Luckily, got back though in time to go to Portugal 2 weeks before the Fermanagh match, and then luckily got into the squad, and then after that did that year. Played a couple of times, and then
And what year was this, Eamon? Or what time was this?
When I was 30, 31, I think, 30, 31. The time was running out, so I said I'd give it a go, like, you know. So
Yeah.
then I did
And
it.
did you line out in the Ulster Championship? Or did you come on in the Ulster Championship against Donegal, maybe?
No, it was Fermanagh. So it was,
Fermanagh you played?
Yeah, we ended up, I think it was Ralph got a red card in that match, so we went down to 14 men, saying we were chasing it, and it was 3 into the square.
And that was the athletic grounds?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, it was in Fermanagh. So it was. They beat us that day. That's the time they went to the Ulster final.
Yes.
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 So it was, you know, a bit of a surprise package, like, you know. So yeah, that was that year. Then we went on through the back door. Westmeath we played Clare. It was in Hyde Park. It was a goal fest. It was roasting. Or was it Roscommon? Roscommon we played. Sorry,
Roscommon playing Hyde Park.
Yeah. We played Roscommon, and then they put us out. So I think Andrew Murden scored 12 points out there or something.
Oh, did
yeah.
So, look, Eamon, that's obviously that's a lot of your Gaelic sort of time, but and you've focused on Gaelic and obviously a lot in recent seasons. But in years gone by, you've played a fair bit of soccer as well. Maybe you want to tell us about that, who you played for, maybe even the positions you were playing. And
although the underage didn't play any soccer at all, as I say, you concentrated solely on the Gaelic. Didn't go like a lot of the boys went and played for Sunnyside and all, but I didn't bother. Like I just played the Gaelic. Then got to school. First soccer team was actually the Potters in Portdown.
Yes, I remember them.
Yeah, Gavin McMahon, he was Portdown fella, was in St Paul's in Lurgan. So I went to St Paul's in first year and second year. So I got friendly with him and went and played soccer, and played in St Paul's team soccer, played up front. And then after that, played over there when I was young, and then went to Derryhirk and played with a lot of boys there. I'm still writing friendly with Conor McGeown, was talking about earlier there. It was a year after they won the Junior Cup, went to Derryhirk. Paul O'Hanlon was the manager, played up front there. Then went back and played centre half because we played against Hill Street, and the big boy Paddy was up front. So I had to go back, play centre half against him. And then after that, centre half I stayed at, played for Silverwood, Lurgan Celtic. Then the year that Silverwood amalgamated with AFC, that was my last year playing soccer. I goes, nah, this didn't. The age cut up. I couldn't do a Saturday and a Sunday anymore.
Couldn't do both. Couldn't run at both sports. And did you win any? Did you have any success with any of those teams, Eamon?
Yeah. Won a lot of cups with Derryhirk. Won the Mid Ulster League One, Division 1 with Silverwood as well. We went all year unbeaten for the last match. We had the League One, so the last Saturday we got a bus up to Clyde to the match, but there was a lot of beer tucked on the bus on the way up, so we actually didn't play, and they beat us 4-2. It was the last match of the league, so we got beat one match all year. But yeah, that's the two main things that I would have won. I was soccer.
Very good. I would argue your best soccer team was Trosney United. If you remember that team we put together for a couple of charity matches.
Charity games, yeah. I was undefeated.
They were good. They were good crack. Undefeated.
2 from 2, wasn't it?
It is right. 100% record.
Beat Oxford, wasn't it? Beat Oxford.
Oxford and Lurgan Thistle, maybe did we play in one of them? Yeah. What Ulster teams we just threw together, but anyway. So look, at the time of recording, the Armagh Club All Stars Awards they were last night, and as luck would have it, we were actually both in attendance.
Yeah.
Like when you see it firsthand, it's actually it's a massive event, 400 guests, and it's very prestigious, very well put together. But the big news, I suppose, coming out of it is that you've picked up an All-Star award yourself, being named in the half-forward line. So, congratulations, and I'm sure you're happy with that.
Oh, yeah. As I said, don't really go out at the start of the year, for personal awards, or Ian was a championship and league. Fell a bit short for the league, but then full age won the championship. But, the personal things, accolades as well, added bonus. So, happy enough with it. And Neil was there too. Should have mentioned that earlier. He was a referee in Gaelic. He picked up referee of the year. So good night for the family, yeah.
And very deservedly so. Like he's got a lot of fans as a referee, Neil.
Aye, like I've done a couple of matches for him now. He's meticulous. Like, so like you
Yeah.
do a couple of for umpires there, like he would give you a complete rundown, going on the cure, like where
Yes.
the be, angles. It's actually like surprising enough. Like there's a lot of work goes into it. Like behind the scenes, you think you just go into the change rooms and the referee turns up, but like we're in that environment in the change rooms, you get to see like the county board secretaries coming in and like get the rules read out to them, what's expected of them, where have they be, and like it's actually like for years I was cat for referees, like it's just like giving off, like, but when you're in that side of it, you actually see like the amount of work they actually have to do, and you give a lot of respect to them,
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, they're credited.
And I suppose the story there is that Neil was refereeing the county final, and your dad refereed it 40 years ago
Aye,
to,
yeah,
to the same year.
yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, that's the way things work. Yeah, just well worked out.
Yeah.
I was glad I stood outside the wire that day because you know it comes to it, like I couldn't do anything with the seniors like if Neil was doing it, but like the county matches and all, it's great. The whole four of us would go and help him, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Like I.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, I suppose what's worth mentioning as well about that All Star award is that it's not an All Star for the seniors and then an All Star team for the intermediate and an All Star team for the juniors. Just one combined team. So it's actually it's actually a very prestigious award to pick up. The fact that you've been named in an all full county 15.
Aye,
So
but
again, very good.
yeah, but like I would also there's three of us from the club, but I would argue there should have been a lot more. To be fair, as well,
Who
like
else would you be thinking?
well, when a person finishes top scorer in the championship, like they should be put into it, like and like another
Yeah,
one nobody's
Mr.
really.
Paul McGeown. Yeah,
Oh, McGeown, yeah, I didn't want to name drop him, like,
of course.
but
Yeah,
yeah, Shea McAlinton, nobody's talked about. His man never scored from play from the quarter final, semi final, or final. I think he's
yeah,
conceded 1 point, and it was a free. At 1 point, his man scored. So Ronan Sloan, you got to go through the players in our team. Luca, young boys too, Big Connell, all
yeah.
within a shout. So
All in a shout.
yeah,
I'm sure they were very close to the thinking, but suppose when you look at Madden winning the senior championship, that's more than likely going to be
the
the team who
proximate, yeah.
picks up the most amount of the awards.
Oh, here,
But still, all in all, yes, you're right. James McAlinton and Nell Cure, of course, picking up their awards too. So congratulations to them.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so Eamon, look, the Sarsfields season then, we'll maybe have a look at it. And from what I could tell after, like obviously following along myself as a Sarsfields man and then reviewing it here now too, it looked to me like there was clearly three parts to it. There was the first 8 league games. And if you look at the record of those, it was win, win, draw, loss, win, win, loss, loss. So after 8 games, you're kind of seeing like middle of the road form, nothing standing out too much. And the two losses at the end of that run were both home defeats, where Sarcevids are typically very strong, particularly at intermediate level, but also at senior level too over the years.
yeah.
So when you look at those first 8 league games, maybe nothing was standing out at that time as to what was going to unfold for the rest of the season. What do you think? Maybe was things just sort of taking time to build? A new management team, people getting used to each other.
Yeah, well, we'll go to the draw first. Again, the draw was against Tullysarn. In Tullysarn, where we were winning by 10 points. And the rules of you couldn't, like, so one of the points, so this was a back pass. One of the ways, just pass it back to the goalkeeper. So that there was, catching up. Then 3 or 4 times, they caught the ball in the middle of the field and the boys tackled them. So the ball was brought straight up the field and they got their 2 point of freeze.
Yes, and that rule has since changed.
Yeah, and then in the middle of the season, that rule changed. So we actually were winning by 10 to go that point down. And then Callum McGill kicked a 2 point score himself. We got the ball moved up from the Eamon's tackling one of us. So take them rules out, that rule away, that would have been another win in our first 4, And then the 2 defeats was actually, we played 3 matches in 7 days. So we played White Cross on the Friday, then we played St. Paul's on the Tuesday, and then we played again on the Friday against Katie. Now, Katie, to be fair, we were in the match the last 10 to the 10 minutes, then they just pulled away. Gave us, I was very impressed with them that night. But at that time, the catalyst then was, and it's funny enough to believe it, and people think, Jesus, we had a night out. We had a night in the back place, and that was it. After that, it just clicked, everything clicked, and then, Yeah, the rest is history now.
Yeah, the back place, of course, being the pavilion at the Sarsfields for anyone who doesn't know.
The shebang.
The shebeen is right. Um, so look, that would then take you into the second part of the league, which was the remaining 6 games.
Yeah.
Win, 6 straight wins,
Yeah.
which meant that we missed out. Sarsfields missed out narrowly on automatic promotion, basically just on the last day of the season. Tully
Yeah.
Sarn pipping them at the very end. But I think maybe that was paving the way then for what was to unfold in the championship.
Yeah, I actually think it was a good thing we didn't win at the end of the day. We got it, because we've got a wee bit of a bit of an edge then. We got a wee bit angry, like thinking, we've won all these matches in the straight, like, and then just nothing for it, So the two managers, to be fair, John and Manny's, just we did like our mini block of training, and we just knuckled down. To be fair, 30 boys just bought into it, and so say came from that night right after the Katie match, straight after it into that night. That was it, and the door was closed, and you were in, you're in. If you weren't, you were out, you're out. So after that was all hands to the wheel, and to be fair, like anything the boys were asked, no matter what age you were, it was done. So yeah, it was a credit, like.
Very good. And part of those 6 wins, 3 of them were against teams who previously beat you. So you sort of, you sort of corrected those defeats.
Yeah, that's when Tully Sarn, we got them down the road, and again we went 10 up. We didn't stop. We just kept going. Ballymacnab, they beat us in the Nab. Beat us. It was a poor enough match. Beat them down the road to 2. Good start, and then it was St Paul's, which again was, yeah, we right a lot of wrongs there. So we went into it in a good place, and then, as I say, we got the draw. The group of death, as everybody was calling it,
Well, that's it. Well, that takes us to the third part then of the season, which was actually the championship itself. Now, the championship's, of course, a 2-part thing where you have a group and then the knockouts. But as you said, the group was known as a group of death purely because you drew the top seed from every of the 4 pots. Isn't that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Derrynoose, Turnanog, and Ballymacnab.
Yeah. So we had to go to Derrynoose first, and we come out of it with a point win. Now they hit us quick in the first 10 minutes and went like 8 up again, 2-pointed frees and stuff, and we just knuckled back. So from the 50 minutes on, I think we beat them like 19-8 or something, to get the win. But when we come out of it, it was like, oh, that's a bad Sarsfields team. But nobody really recognised that Derrynoose were a good at home, like good team at home, But the following week they played Ballymacnab and beat Ballymacnab, but it was Ballymacnab were bad. It wasn't that Derrynoose were brilliant,
Yes.
So like,
no, I think that was it. Like that Derrynoose team, they got automatic promotion from the division below, so that's a confidence season for them. So they're going to be coming in. They're going to be coming in against Sarsfields, as underdogs, and they're going to be as guaranteed nearly to be a tough match, which it proved to be.
Yeah, very, very tight pitch, Gary, as well.
Yeah.
Brought me back to, remember we went one time we played, was at the summer.
Very small pitch, yeah.
We had years in our times in Division 3, the old Division 3, like we were at the summer, remember the real tight pitch? That's exactly
I do, I remember it, yeah.
That's what that reminded me of, like when playing, like, so yeah, that was a big match. And then the following week it was Portadown Turnogue in Turnogue. Brenton Hughes was their manager, and you know yourself, but anybody doesn't. Brenton managed us for 3 years, and he knew us. He knows every single one of us, and we've all a lot of time for him. And so we knew going into that match too, it wasn't just going to be a matter of turning up, like, But we got the goals at the right time and just kept it ticking over in that match, like. So now we went into the last group game against Ballymacnab,
which was your only home game.
Our only home game, yeah. And they gave us an awful traction in the championship last year, the year before, in the senior championship. So we knew going into that, as you say, we're good at home. Like, we know we're good at home. Teams don't like coming to Tarazna. So if it was what was it, 10-6 maybe, or 10. I think the final score was 10-6, maybe more, 12-6 or something, which may seem like a very boring match, but the wind was. We had it that day. I know the wind was cat.
The wind was bad that day, yeah.
Ballymacnab had it both halves. you know. So they had it both halves, and by Pierce Hughes plays for them. He kicked the ball, started the second half from about 60 yards and went wide. And I was like, how did that boy kick that far? In the first half, he couldn't kick the ball 20
Yeah,
yards. It was just stopping, you know. So even the elements were against us, but we dug deep and come out the right side, and finished the group of death, should we say?
group of death.
Um,
So
going
that
into
takes us on to the knockout stages then, and then it was the third encounter of the season with Katie, and that was in Abbey Park. So
yeah,
that was a tough game.
very physical. Yeah, they prefer that Katie team. Surprised a lot of people this year. You know, we played them the very first match of the league and beat them by a point. And then, as I said, they beat us in Trasna, and they really impressed me that day. So going into that match, we knew that it was going to be a real task. And Abbey Park, renowned tight pitch, you know, so it made it again more physical again. And like teams are talking about, Sarsfields won't be able to match them in the physical aspect of the game, and then they beat us again. Going into that match, underdogs as well again. So it was good to come out on the right side of that. As much as it was only was it a 2 point win,
Yeah,
2 point win.
two.
You
Yeah,
know, it's better coming out of these games. I thought we learned a lot by coming out of them. You know, a 2 point win that match was a massive win for us. You know, coming out of them when you like we're bound to be taken serious now. Like, you know.
and look, and that takes us into then the semi final and final, which of course was going to be playing the athletic grounds, and obviously the talk at the time was the athletic grounds curse. So you know what that basically was. Ever since the new athletic grounds reopened, you know, the phased reopening since the stage reopening since 2008 to 2011, Sarsfields had never won in it,
Correct.
which it's a crazy statistic. But did it feel like a real thing, Eamon, or
Um, yeah, a lot of outside noise like from it, you
yeah,
know. But when you're our age, like, and it does every year, you're going to it, and you get to that point, like you're going to, you know, and then the ball, we can see the goal straight away in the first minute, and then you're like going at the time, going, geez. But John and Molly's were real clued into it. Fella Sean Mailer come in a couple of times before the match, absolute genius of a man, like, so he is. And like we just everything about the process, follow the process, stick to the process. And we knew going into the match, like, but again, going to the match, like the bookies even had us at 2-1, like against the team that was in the division below.
uh-huh.
So like all these, like the whole year was a hang of outside. You're all outsiders, like against us. Then we say we went into the static grounds. First 10, 15 minutes of that match was a bit dodgy, like with, you know, probably because of the nerves again. But we have the experience in the field that settled it down a bit, and we were winning 3 points up at half time, I think it was. And the second half we come out and just
It did.
everything set.
It ended up a comfortable win in the end. It was
Yeah,
quite a very good. It was a good second half performance.
yeah, and it just didn't come from the usuals. Like there was a lot of young fellas in that team stood up that night. You know, I guess Shane McAlitten and all really come to the fore. Like we Luca, Conor McCann, you know, then Cavi coming on, Sean McAlitten coming on, Mickey Stevenson come on. Like, you know, just it really showed we had a very, very good chance at that stage. Like, you know, when we
Yeah, the
seen the
strength
ball,
and
yeah,
depth was starting to show.
yeah, and then it really were. Then people actually go, "Jesus, team isn't just, you know, here to take part." Shall I
Yeah,
say? Yeah, that's
and
what
then
I thought.
obviously that leads us to the final itself, which you know obviously there was a lot of big celebrations and stuff came after. But do you remember much about the final? I suppose the thing now is you go back to like the likes of the 1990 final and the 2010 final. It's sort of hard to see those again. But this final now is available to see. You can watch it, so you can sort of get a feel for what it was like. Do you remember much about it?
Yeah, I just know the first 2 weeks leading up to it, like as I say, with personal things and like connections and all with St Paul's, it wasn't enjoyable. Like, you know, like
That's
I
right, because
honestly,
your father in law is Shane McConville,
yeah,
St Paul's
yeah,
manager.
yeah, and then Owen would have been on some squad, and the way family, she's really, really bright in St Paul's. Like, you know, she
Yeah,
does all her PR work and all. So I had to crack the whip that first week or two, the week before, and tell her she had to hand the reins over for somebody else to do their social media posts. But, like, it's like I would have the house stacked in green and white, like playing in the finals against anybody else, like, but
Yeah.
just I didn't enjoy them 2 weeks because I had, you have to like draw the line somewhere, like, and I didn't want to be, seeing the poking bears and all, and then people getting involved, coming out with statements and all, and I just want to solely concentrate on the football, so didn't really enjoy the lead up to the match, to be honest, and getting into it. A couple of Sarsfields legends, should we say, had a couple of words with them, conversations in the week up to it. Just made me solely focus on it, and then just first couple of minutes just locked in, like, and got in the ball pretty early. Couple of big plays to start, and just continued on from there. Like, just the biggest thing I can remember, like, is the final whistle. Like, the same with two bros. Gareth was in the squad or in the management team as well, helping, and Paul after the match. Sean Skelton, ways that, like, you've grew up with, and you just, it's not just a football thing. Like, ways actually crying, like,
Yeah.
grown men coming onto the field crying, like, you're Connor, Scully as well, ways that I've, like, they don't play in the senior squad team, like, but you've grew up with them, like, and they're
and they're still involved in the club.
They love the Sarsfields, like, so Brian McGlinton crying, just my dad crying. It was just great to
great scenes.
Give them that there, so that's what I remember more than anything, really. Like.
Brilliant. And look, I suppose the Ulster campaign was brief. Come up against a very strong Glenullen team who are they're Division 1 Derry team, basically. Did it feel like bonus territory maybe at the time, Eamon, or was it was it more than that?
No. I, like, from the very start, like, I firmly believe we would be in Ulster. Like I knew from the, like, not only just because of the players we had, but how John and Manny's have developed the whole ethos in the club, like, as well, that I knew that we were going to be in a final and win it and go into Ulster. But we trained, like, to be fair, we trained hard, like, for that. We were back training on the Wednesday night in Stewartstown, or no, in the gym, sorry, and then back in Stewartstown training, like, just a couple of things happened. Like, it was Collie Stevenson's wedding, and a load of the boys had to go to London the Saturday. The match was on the Sunday, like,
That's right.
Just preparation maybe just wasn't there, like, the way we had been. Like, when we were going to these matches and all beforehand in Armagh, like, we were all locked in, and you can't blame the boys. This thing, you can't call off the wedding, like, so the boys, and they've known Collie their whole lives, they weren't going to miss it, like, so like, as much as I would have loved to run in it, I understand that, the boys had to live their lives too, like, and if we would have been Glenullen that day, I do believe too that we would have had a good real run on it as well, and it wouldn't have been a surprise to me or to anybody in the team, but I know, again, it would have been a surprise to everybody else, so the belief in our squad, we knew this was, like, if we would have got over that hurdle, like, because when you could lock in again, there would be no distractions, that we could give it a real go. But fair play to them, real strong team, really strong team, so they were. And then they're bringing Owen Bradley on off the bench, like, I know he's not the same shape of body that he was when he was playing, when he was in his prime, like, but he's got a left wand, like,
he does.
He come on, he kicked maybe 2 or 3 points, like, But, like, with the bit, it says 12 points was in it, I think, at the end, but there was 5 in it with 5 minutes to go.
There was 2 points in it, but like 15. They got a couple of real quick goals, basically killed it as a contest. And
so that's what happened. We pushed on to try and kill the 2 points, and then they hit us on the counter attack twice and put the ball in it, and then that was game over. So, and then that was it. Like, but no, it was a good year, and a lot to build on. Like, with the youth, like, there, the young boys, just need to continue their development, and with the right 2 men there, and now really do firmly believe, like, them 2 men are, like, they're meticulous, like, and they're not just good football men to have, they're good people, like, like, you've seen them yourself, like, like, they've actually embraced the community, like, they've made
they sure have
community, they've brought the community together. It's really great to be part of them, like, and yourself going into the 100th year now as well for the club. There's going to be a lot of community events, so I think we're right two boys at the helm, like to like do something, like not that we're just that even if you're bettering yourself slightly, it's a good thing,
Sure looks like it. Well, look, Eamon, that wraps up the season, and I suppose we'll wrap up the podcast here. But before we do, I have a dads and lads registration form for you here. Are you going to fill it in, or are you planning on sticking with senior football for another year?
No. I just don't know what else I'll do without the Gaelic football guy, to be honest with you. So like I go till the club tells me they don't need me anymore. To be honest, that's it. Like so, yeah, bleed green and white. Like so, we'll see how long they want me. So, even if it's for 10 minutes, I'll be in now. Brandon Offrey, two of us on the sideline still. So yeah, no.
Very good, Eamon. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good man.
So that was Eamon McGeown, and hopefully a discussion that you enjoyed. In the next few episodes, I will have a couple of current County Armagh players joining the show, and to find out who that's going to be, you'll have to tune in. But until then, thanks for watching, thanks for listening to the Inside Game podcast.